Hey, welcome to the Lowdown Show. Today I'll be reviewing the movie Voiceless, directed by my friend Pat Nicorado, and also produced by him. And if you've seen my other trailer reactions and even an interview I had with Pat about the movie, I knew a little bit about the movie at the very beginning. I mean, I read the first script. He gave me the first script to read, and it was pretty cool. I was able to read the whole script and kind of envision on what the movie would be like. But that was the very first script, though, and it did get revamped and obviously went through different stages. At the beginning, I was going to play, involved in a little bit, with playing in the movie and doing something in there. But, things didn't work out at that time. It was at the very beginning. But I'm so glad that they got this movie made. And it's a really good movie. I enjoyed it, and going into my review, I'm going to try to be unbiased as much as I can, because knowing the director and producer, and also parts in the movie that I've experienced myself, and maybe some others may feel the same way. But I am curious about people that aren't familiar with the pro-life movement. Because this is a pro-life movie, and I'm curious. I've reached out to some other YouTubers to check out what their review would be on this movie. This movie is starring Rusty Joyner. I wasn't too familiar with him. I had to look him up. He did a few movies and a few TV shows that I mentioned before in my trailer review. Also, there's a couple cameos, I guess you can say, by people I've met, like Rusty and Stewart, the producer. Anyway, this movie is, like I said, a pro-life movie, and it's about a disabled veteran who goes to Philadelphia, by all places, and he's just involved in a church who's struggling, and they're needing more staff, I guess, if you want to say, and they want him to be the outreach leader, and another person to go out and preach the gospel. And he also I guess he has an interest, or he knows about boxing, and he wanted to put up a boxing ring, kind of bring people in to teach them how to box and self-defense, and in the meantime, share the gospel with them. And so what the story goes on, he moved with his wife, and this movie was shot very good, in Philadelphia. If you ever been to Philadelphia, I'm pretty sure they captured a small part of that place. I've been there once, and this movie is a really contained movie. I mean, I really love the relationships that the main actor, Rusty, he plays the guy's name is Jesse. I really love those relationships and how contained it's about him and his story and what he's going through. As in, he's struggling with a disability on his leg. He's trying to help out and be in the church and trying to start an outreach program. But the conflict is he's starting to see that there's this abortion clinic right across the street from where the church is, where he evangelizes and stuff. And he's very convicted because he's seeing all these girls going in, and girls, fighting with their spouses or boyfriends. And he looks over and he's really convicted and knows what's going on. Babies are being killed there, and nobody's really talking or helping these girls get any help or any other options. But he didn't know kind of how about to tackle the situation. But anyway, during the movie, there is a conflict where he does talk to one lady. She kind of walks up to the church, and the main character is there, Jesse, and he's confronted, kind of. She was asking him, is God gonna still forgive her, and will she see her baby in heaven if she goes through with the abortion? And pretty much he didn't know what to say, and so he kind of said what he could, but it was a real short conversation. On the ride home, he tells his wife, and his wife is kind of not having it, not really wanting him to speak about abortion, or why did you even talk to her at all. And so, he still got the conviction, so he talked to the pastor, wants to have a prayer meeting about the abortion clinic, and obviously people are not on board on what his convictions are. He also goes to his neighbor, a Scottish lady, and she's not in the church, but she's definitely really faithful and loves to serve the Lord. But she's kind of upset with the church as well, not taking a stance. And she tells a real cool story about a Scottish knight legend named the Black Douglas. And I'm a big fan of the Black Douglas. Heard that from my friend Jeff Rose. Have you seen his sermons? And he talks about the Black Douglas. Even have a few books on the Black Douglas behind here. So that was cool that they were able to implement that story in a movie. See, like I was saying, kind of biased about that. And I've also done abortion ministries. And I've came in with some opposition, and not exactly what the main character got into, but I could relate. And then he also sees a street preacher who's preaching the gospel, getting water thrown on him, getting beat up basically, and he comes and he sticks up for this guy, and he even gets into a fight. And then there's another guy on the street who helps the main character out as well, to help the street preacher, and the street preacher kind of just walks off, says pray for them, and but the guy who helped Jesse wanted to kind of tag along, and wanted to, in the movie, wanted to learn about boxing, and he brought his friends over to the outreach, and I like him too. I think Jeremiah Mogi, is that his name? That actor, I really like him. He really shined in the movie, even though he didn't have a lot of lines. But I thought he was a really good sidekick to the main character. Man, I liked it. Like I was saying, it had that kind of gritty, dark tone. It was really contained. It's like one of those movies that it sticks to one story, one person, and you really see that struggle in Jesse trying to get this pro-life ministry going. Some tidbits about the movie, or you want to say Easter egg. There's a gentleman in the film. He got the prayer meeting, and he's talking about wanting to start an abortion ministry. And like I said, my friend Rusty, he actually was in a documentary about abortion, and he runs a great abortion ministry. You should look him up. And he's in the movie, and he said, "Hey, we all seen that documentary about abortion." And he's talking about his movie, or the movie that he's in. He's in it a little bit. It's actually Eric Holmberg, who makes those abortion ministry movies. And I thought it was, I guess you would call it an Easter egg. I kind of had a nice smile to that when he said that line. And like I said, the producer, Stewart, I had the pleasure to meet him when we had that pre-production meeting. He's in the movie. He's the counselor who counsels Jesse about his past, and trying to figure out why he's so angry, or so kind of they would say a loose cannon. He basically became a loose cannon because he's trying to start this ministry. Everybody thinks he's crazy. He has a little violent edge because of his background of being in the military and in war. I'm sorry I'm going all over the place, but anyway, he talks to that girl at the abortion clinic, and then he finds out 3 days later she killed herself because she couldn't make the right decision because she was so conflicted on wanting to keep the baby or not, or will God forgive her. And he goes to the funeral, and the family recognizes him when he tells them who he was, and the family was like, hey, you're the one that talked to her that day, and all you preachers and you radicalists, Christians, this is all your fault. And that really obviously got him really upset, and so the scene goes, he goes, and he's really upset. And he walks into the abortion clinic. He literally walks to the office. And now, from my knowledge, I haven't done this, and maybe we have people who do abortion ministries, we think and we want to do that, but that's the good thing about film. Yeah, he actually walks in there and he starts saying, "Hey, I want to see the manager," and he's yelling, and he's talking to all the people that are in there waiting, saying, "No, you don't want to end up like this girl. They're not telling you the truth." And I feel like sometimes we want to do that, though we could go to ministry, and we know the outcome. We probably won't be able to get that far. But anyway, he gets into another fight, kind of. Not really a fight, but the security guard takes him outside. He, knowing his military training, takes down the security guard. Later on, his wife finds out about it because the police come over and they're telling him that the clinic won't press charges this time. So now this guy is like a total loose cannon, everybody thinks. Like he's just going around and punching people and then beat people up for his own convictions. And I loved all the actors. Like I said, I'm not familiar with a lot of them, but they did a really, really good job. The wife and the black couple and the old Scottish lady. I really enjoyed myself. It is really gritty, and the tone is very very. What do I say? Maybe dark. I don't want to say dark because it's not like dark. And there were some times in the movie I was like, man, is there any hope? Kind of depressing. But then I think to myself, oh yeah, well they think about abortion, and it's not really much light on the tunnel when you're doing this kind of work. So it did fit the tone. And another part that surprised me was there's a part where a guy pulls out a gun, and he's off and he's shooting. He didn't shoot anybody, but he wheeled his gun in the air, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I haven't been in that situation either at abortion clinic, but I've heard stories about people getting so angry, and they threaten to pull their gun out on people and stuff. And yeah, that stuff really happens. People get pretty heated up, and yeah, that was surprising. And but I don't want to spoil the whole movie. If you've seen it, then basically the ending, I liked it because everybody gathered together, and at first I thought the pastor was gonna walk away at the very ending. If you've seen the ending, but I was a little bit kind of confused or conflicted. He actually kind of said something, but I don't know what he said. But then he walked. Actually walked in front of the crowd to go help do the abortion ministry. And I was like, hey, how come Jesse isn't taking the lead? But it made sense because he was alone all this time, and finally he got some backup. Finally he got some people to stand up with him. So he was like, oh man, man, I've been through a lot, and this is great that other people are going out too. Not just me getting beat up and arrested all the time. And he finally had that moment of relief and joy, and his wife finally backed him up about it. And so, in that aspect, I thought about it more, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a perfect ending. It's not about him just going out in the very front and conquering his fears and goals. Another tidbit, I'm jumping all over the place, but that street preacher, he meets that street preacher in the courthouse, and basically he asked the street preacher, like, hey, how do you stand up to all those guys and they'll preach and get beat up and water thrown on you, man, that's a lot of opposition. And it was a great line when he said, because I mean, I used to do street preaching, and a lot of us have done that, and we're all trained. What do you get that one saying that says, the most thing that people fear are death and public speaking. So people would rather die than public speak. Whether you're at a church or you're preaching or you're doing some kind of presentation. But the guy, I thought he was going to say something like, "Oh, well, if the Lord leads you, you got to open your mouth," or, you're commanded to, which they're all good things to go by. But his line was great. I mean, it related to me. He said, just speak the very first words and let the rest come out, And that's true for me, being kind of a more introvert, I guess, and then wanting to do public speaking. Once you say those first words, you're like released from all that nerve, and you're like, all right, and then whatever goes after that. So that was a good line. Like a little tidbit information that I was like, oh man, I relate to that big time. That's a good advice. So overall, I enjoyed myself. This movie was pretty good. I mean, it's pretty heavy too. It's a pro-life movie about abortion and about speaking up for those who can't speak, which I know is in the book of Psalms. The voiceless. Those who don't have any mouths to speak. And you kind of correlate that with babies that are in the womb and getting murdered. And I think it might be a double meaning too. But I don't know the movie meant this. But even voiceless for people who want to get proactive, but they're voiceless because they're too scared or maybe they're getting too much opposition. And I've been in that situation. Like, let someone else do it. And I feel like, oh, does that mean I'm voiceless too? Like I don't have a voice. I'm too scared to talk. So I'm too scared to even say anything for my convictions or do anything about it. So to me, maybe that title has a double meaning. Like, you don't go stand up for each other, man. You're voiceless yourself. You gotta speak. But anyways, let me wrap this up with my grade, my review. I've been thinking long and hard about this. I'd say a B. A B plus maybe. I really, like I said, enjoyed it. I think other people will enjoy it who have experience in worship ministries or just any kind of Christian outreaching. Definitely different from all the other films. It is more of a low budget or indie film, if you want to say. I've seen like October Baby. I've seen that. That's like an abortion movie. And obviously the other movies like Fireproof and Facing the Giant and those other Christian movies. And if you listen to that video podcast or that podcast I did with Pat, he didn't really associate it as really a Christian movie. It's just a movie, that has Christian elements and the gospel in it. So that was kind of cool, So I'm very glad, Pat got this movie out. And if you listen to my podcast, he's talking about another movie he's probably going to be making. And I hope you guys watch Voiceless. Please go to the special features. He's got like Save the Snorts and Save the Snorts and a bunch of other stuff on there about getting involved and being proactive in the pro-life movement. And thanks for listening to the review. Hopefully you watch the movie, support it, and do your review as well. And I'll see you again. Bye.